Yes, my beautiful souls, welcome to another edition of the Soul Surgery Collective Oracle reading, where we touch base with our energies for this week, looking at what's going on. Sorry, let's start again. Starting with our purpose. So, what's our purpose? What our focus should be for this week? We're looking at what we should be learning for the week. We're looking at what's going on currently in our lives, in dynamics, and then we're going to get an action card because nothing can be achieved if we are not making certain changes, basically. So that's what the action card represents. It represents kind of for us to achieve our purpose, we have to implement some sort of action, my beautiful souls. So, with no further ado, let's go. This is House of New, and I am Usar Furian. Let's go, let's go. Okay, we got grace, my beautiful souls. Grace, adornment, bringing out beauty, elegance, the outer as a reflection of the inner, vanity, charisma, and self expression. Self expression to me personally is the ultimate dynamic, or with self expression comes comfortability in your skin. With comfortability in your skin comes confidence, or the radiance of confidence, my beautiful souls. So this would be, as grace here would be, not acting from an egotistical mind frame, but being in alignment with your true essence, your true uniqueness, your true, I suppose, your purpose. But it's really allowing a flower to bloom in its own light. Yeah, that's what I get with grace. So there is the aesthetics of this. It's very Venusy in one aspect, right? Venus being the kind of energy where it's beauty and attraction, pretty things, right? So we can adorn ourselves, or you might start, right? But the higher level, or the more spiritual dynamic of that, is being able to see beauty within yourself through your own uniqueness, and that now can be projected into the world. So what once looked ugly no longer looks ugly, or where you was conflicted of merging yourself or bringing yourself out and showing people whom you are, like it's a release from that inhibition, right, by self-acceptance. So you could bring a lot of beauty to the world with this kind of with this kind of grace, my beautiful souls. This is a lot of healing of rifts, right? Issues with families, partners, the world in general. This is a problem solver. This is a healer when we operate from that most authentic, graceful inner beauty dynamic. Because inner beauty, on I suppose on a deeper level, is about understanding the dynamic of yourself, the essence of yourself, the potentials, right, of yourself, the fluidity of self, right? We have a fluid side, we have a, which would be a mutable side, a cardinal side, which is able to take action, right? We have a side that is also fixed. So when we find a formula that works, we can sit down with it. I suppose with consistency and repetition, that produces results. But again, the results based on an essence of what you truly are. And that brings us, as we always say, we are divine netarus. We are gods and goddesses. We are full of potential. We are co-creators. We just lack sometimes the vision, or the expansiveness of vision. We're not using our imaginations to think out of the box. Do you know what I'm saying, my beautiful souls? We're accepting the clothing or the limitation of our societal expectations, or your traumas, or your, yeah, it's mostly traumas. So this would be the healing of your inner trauma, of those aspects of yourself which you deny, or you don't want to have to deal with in a sense of behavior. This is all that in the concept of grace, is bringing out the outer as a reflection of the inner. So it's for people who say that they're spiritual and they believe in a God, or they're religious and they believe in all these things. When we can't bridge our actual essence back to the same essence as the source, then we've lost that whole reflecting the inner and the outer, the as above as below, my beautiful soul. So when you stay in a position of worship, right, but you're not understanding your physical form being an extension or a dense aspect of energy, which is attached back to the universal energy within the world, cannot be created, cannot be destroyed. There's your infiniteness, your possibilities. And the same for the consciousness, my beautiful souls. If there is an intelligence that permeates the world, through the world, the instincts in animals, the matrix within the plants, the things that keep the planets and this, everything, the weather system, it's an intelligence, right? And we also share in that intelligence, and we can use that intelligence to create, to problem solve. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is the concept or the true purpose of grace, my beautiful souls. Let's get a little tarot card. Look at that. Ten of Cups, my beautiful souls. So this is normally Mars inside Pisces, right? So if we look on the Mars in Pisces dynamic, Mars is what? Action. It's courageousness. It's fire. It's your true. It's your, in astrology, where your Mars placement is shows you your true nature, my beautiful souls. So being in Pisces, this would make an individual somewhat altruistic and collective, wanting to provide a service or working with humanity, healing, creative, right? Very fluid, my beautiful souls. The 10 represents some form of completion. It's almost like it's time to ascend. Oh no, it's time for the caterpillar to become the butterfly. It's time for the snake to shed its skin. It's time for a new season. It's a time, this is a revealing, a revelation of the essence of what you are. So it says here, perfected success, if you can see on the card right at the bottom. Perfected success, my beautiful souls. So you could say you've gone round the wheel, one clock, one cycle, right? That's made you get to the point where you are. But now a new cycle is going to start, that's going to embrace this newfound understanding of your true essence and true dynamic, my beautiful soul. So yeah, we can say your abundance or your reward or your fruit is attached to whether you can see whom and what you are, like the aspects of yourself that you keep in the shadows, the parts where when you're at home by yourself. But we want all of this to be, you have to feel comfortable being who you are at home as well as outside, even though sometimes we have to don the mask. This is another aspect of the Pisces. It's now the time of taking all those different masks and assimilating those masks into a character, right? That is you, my beautiful souls. You are not this, you're not that, but you are the accumulation of all things. You are no thing, but so you are everything. This is the true essence of the Ten of Cups, in this essence or in relation to one's purpose, right? It's the last decan of Pisces, like I said, my beautiful soul. So if that time, we're probably going to have an eclipse coming up at that time. So there's some cycle dying out, my beautiful soul, and it's got to do with your concept of self is the root. So let's keep going. Let's see what we're learning. We got duration, my beautiful souls, what we're learning right now. Consistency, continuity, endurance, perseverance, maturity, strengthening, stability, a deep commitment. So yes, hard work does pay off, right, my beautiful souls. You can see here, it's like a transition, right? We're going from night to day or from season to season, right? Which shows you that life is a cycle of revealing. It's a cycle of modification, right? So we can't at one point, let's say like it's winter, and then believe that there would only be winter. We endure winter knowing that winter's followed by spring, like the ice will melt, right? So, but we have to be able to enjoy the winter and then still keep our minds or our psychological levels balanced, or hopeful, or knowing that the cycle is going to change, right, my beautiful soul. So we've got to look on that in the sense of the development of you, your characteristic, your personality. It's something that should be changing. It should be evolving, right? As the seasons change, we can work, our personality should change. So when we know it's time for winter, we're not trying to walk around in shorts. We're covered up correctly, right? Or in times of autumn, we start to plant some foods before the winter comes, so that when spring comes, those already embedded seeds have the ability to start to grow, right? So it's the same for us. We go through a process of phototropic and gravitropic. Gravitropic is cementing the roots, right? Is grounding ourselves, is initiating the idea, understanding the purpose, right? Accepting the gift or realizing the journey that we want to go on. There has to be some form of acceptance, right? And then that set working on it, or brick by brick building your kingdom, is the consistency. And that when you're building your kingdom, you're going to weather many different types of systems. There's going to be summer, you're going to deal with the heat, right? There's going to be winter, you're going to deal with the cold, right? So it's making sure that we know that there is nothing that's just so-called pure sailing, but in the essence of who we are as an individual, right? Our awakening or our development is almost like the seasons, my beautiful souls, right? Everything in its time. No two things can shine at the same time. So everybody is given their time to in the sun, you could say. So yes, the Four of Cups. This is the Cancer energy. This is telling us that we've kind of got fed up where we are, accepting, how can I say, accepting the story that's been told to us, right? Accepting the story that we've just accepted a story. And for some reason, we're like tired of playing that character. That's the kind of essence of the Four of Cups, right? But it's like a false sense of stability. This is comfort, my beautiful souls. We are shaping out of that comfort. But I feel that first it has to be acknowledged, which means that we have to go back to the grace. We have to acknowledge that we're, how can I put it? We have to know that we are frustrated, that we're not happy, that we are living a lie. There's more to us, right? That needs to become the friction that stimulates the life force energy within you, right? To be able to see who you truly are, right? And then to initiate your plans, right, according to this new version of yourself. So yes, there will be a friction, there will be frustration, but it's what you do with that frustration. That's the lesson. We need frustration to shake us out of the illusion, out of the stuckness, right? But then we need to be willing to delve deeper into what we truly are, tap into soul essence, soul purpose, understand the gifts and the talents that we have that we haven't utilized yet, right? Understand that we've accepted a lie or a version of ourselves and we fell into that realm of comfortability, but it's something that can be broken because we're no longer comfortable in it, my beautiful souls. And we've got to use the fact that we're no longer comfortable, right, to initiate a whole new plan. This is what's opening up for us. Kaboom, let's go. So what's going on currently? So we've got Mercury inside Aries. So let's break this card down. Mercury in Aries definitely says restlessness here. This is interesting because we've got the mind and we've got the life force working together. Aries is the personality of enterprising. It's the energy of courage, right? It's impulsive. Impulsiveness doesn't necessarily have to be negative. Impulsiveness could come from intuition. This is where your mind comes in with Mercury. So if your mind is clouded with frustration, you're going to act on impulses that are incorrect. But if your mind is clear and it has a plan and it has a vision, with Mercury in retrograde now, allows for a review, my beautiful souls. And I think it's retrograding in Sagittarius. So it allows for a review of your plans, right? This allows you to problem solve. So a problem has initiated itself, and the warrior spirit of Aries will give you the ability to either act on impulse from your emotion and trauma, or to act off intuitive impulse. So for you to find a solution and then be willing to set in a plan, right? A plan of endurance, right? Or a plan to a solution to this issue, right? Then you'll be able to weather the storm, as they would say, my beautiful souls. That's what's initially going on. The first house brings in the set concept of self. So it's almost like you have to be willing to go where no one has been before. Try things that no one has before. That's the energy of the Aries. Yes, Sagittarius is an energy of exploration, but the initial urge is Aries, because when you look at the triplicity of the fire signs, the first one is Aries, right? So that initial impulse, Ace of Wands kind of energy, that first, which could be coming from a frustration, could be like, I'm pissed off, I can't do this, something's been going on for too long, or someone's pulling your strings, you know, it comes from that. And then there's a release of the energy. It just needs direction. This is will and power. Or you can allow your energies to be consume you, your frustration to consume you, and then this restlessness becomes combative. You find yourself arguing or fighting with people. But there's definitely going to be a lot of vocalizing in the present time right now. So this, you could utilize this to vocalize your energies, to vocalize and energize your plans, share your ideas with some people's, right? Express what it is that you want to do, send it to the toolkit, into the universe, right? Or this could be you standing your grounds with people telling you that you should do it in this way or that way, and then you making sure you're staying authentic. But we don't want to just fight. We want to be able to communicate our essence, our grace. And our grace is a reflection of what we truly are. So if something doesn't work for you, don't be afraid to say that this is not working right now, right? And remember, you have power over your actions. This is another thing. So don't be afraid to think something before you act, because this energy of impulsiveness, it could come out of you, or it could be triggered by somebody else in this current time, my beautiful souls. So definitely a good time if you wanted to create a whole new regime, like maybe a health routine that could work right now as well, my beautiful souls. So let's see what action is required right now. Woo! We got Brahma, the god of creation. This is very interesting, my beautiful souls, with what we're already talking about. So let's go with the negative for the actions, right? So we are co-creators in this universe. So we're expected to have an idea or a plan to, or be moving towards something. That also means that we should be working on ourselves and developing self at the same time, so that we can create in alignment to what we truly are. But some of us might be feeling a little bit stagnant. What we're trying is not working. Like, something needs to give. There might be an issue of lethargicness. It's like you have the ideas, but something's missing in the sense of action. It's like you can't initiate, or what you have initiated is not bearing the fruits. So you might be stuck in thinking, okay, how do I go about this in a new, complete different way? Right? So this is where the energy of Brahma is forcing us to say we need to take action and initiate whatever plan. So some people might have the plan, but they're just afraid for some whatever reason to initiate the plan. Again, maybe some people are not comfortable in their skin. Some people are resistant to the person they have to become, letting go of their old self, an old version of themselves, to step into the character you need to become in order to achieve what it is. But the essence of this card is about creation takes action based on a blueprint, my beautiful souls. So first is like, what is your blueprint, right? Do you have a blueprint? Do you have an idea? Are you, right? That's the point of your imagination. That's the magic. But do you have the will? Do you have the strength of the will to initiate, right, action, to take action on this plan? So this is not to say that the plan you have is not correct. If you find yourself struggling with something, right, you might be having to go through this process of duration, understanding that things take time, right? And you have to allow things to nurture and to become, right? And not rush ahead with a form of impulsiveness, right? Or it could be that you are holding back, you're not taking action, right, for whatever reason. So let's look at what some of those reasons may be, right? Queen of Wands energy. So this is telling us that a lot of the resources that you require, you have the ability to attract to you, my beautiful souls. That's what it's saying, right? On one level, it's just about consistency. The Queen of Wands requires consistent flow. she's fire water, right? As a queen, she's seen as a water essence, but her suit is fire. So she links that area from the last decan of Pisces, last 10 days of Pisces, going into the 2 weeks into Aries, right? 2 decans into Aries. So that will probably bring you from last 10 days of March, no, last 20 days of March going into Aries, April, 10 days, yeah, something like that, right? So just in case you want a timing period. So she links the two energies, the water energy, the intuitive energy, the flow energy of the Piscean mutable, and then she mixed the cardinal energy of Aries, which is to take action. So this is definitely being able to, and on another level, understand your own beauty, right? The Queen of Wands is very beautiful, right? She believes in herself. She's joyful. She's exuberant, right? So this energy that she wields is fire water. It's like you need to be of this essence. You need to be of this energy. You need to be joyful. You need to be energized, right? You need to be, it's like you need to operate on a warm temperament, right? Which is almost like a Venus-y kind of energy, right? And you've got the goddess here, or Set, right? Which is some y'all might know as Isis, right? And Isis is the goddess of transcendence, and it's also linked to the moon energy. So your emotionality and what's being impressed upon your emotions, and this will link us back to this grace energy, right? Being able to declutter the illusion that we have formed of ourselves. Oh, I am this person, I am that person, I can't be this and I can't be that. And that is all, again, has shaped our Mercury, our personality, the way that we think. So we might be acting impulsive as opposed to taking action. So we're reactive as opposed to taking action, my beautiful souls. So the Queen of Wands is saying she's a master of this energy, right? Set was able to manipulate the life force, learn its name by tricking it into creating a snake that bit the life force Ra, and then she healed Ra by providing if Ra would give her name. So it's the ability to manipulate the life force. So Set is also seen as the high priestess, my beautiful souls. So this is your imagination, right? Your imagination, what I imagine will become manifested. So we are also working on the laws of attraction here based on a sense of self. If you believe that you are abundant, then that's what will materialize. If you believe, or you know, sorry, that you can achieve something, is possible, is viable, and then your energy vibrates at an ecstatic state, so joyful, right? Optimistic, right? And then a willfulness is there also. This is how you achieve. So let's go. Last one. Ooh, okay. So for some of y'all with the Five of Pentacles coming in, we're looking at some sort of financial loss, where we're in situations where we might not have the money that we want to either achieve this dream or to put into this idea that we have, or we might just be financially low right now, right? So because our money is low, it's almost like it's killed our libido, it's killed our sense of attraction. We don't feel beautiful, we don't feel worthy, so therefore we cannot create, or we cannot attract the abundance that we require, or the resources that we require. You see how it all becomes a whole loop back to how you see yourself, right? Your life force energy, your libido, all materializing as your money or your wealth, right? So there is a sense of loss with this energy, right? Material troubles. So we might be in that material trouble, but this might be something that you need to weather and understand that this financial loss, right? What has it provided? So not focusing on the loss or the lack of, right? What have you been able to do in this period of time? Have you used this time to research, to problem solve, to think out of the box? That's the Brahma energy, to try something new. We just seen it as I'm broke, or I don't have the money to invest, when the lack of may actually provide you with a new avenue. So because you don't have it, could that open up the possibility of partnership and investment, my beautiful souls, right? Or is it giving you time, like in the sense of a retrograde, giving you time to review your plans and alter your plans so that you could be financially better off. But the point is, this is temporary. So this number five is a challenge. It is not here to be the be all and end all for you to be stagnant, right? This is just the number five is like this duration. Oh, look at that. Duration says 32, which is equals a five, right? It's saying it's just a phase, my beautiful souls. So we need to be able to utilize the phase for what it's for, right? As opposed to allowing it to become a form of, what's the word? Like a form of social construct, expectation, or valid. That's it. So it's not some social validation of whom you are. So this lack of right now is not a validation of what you are in your entirety. You got the God Brahma here. This is what the energy is saying. If you can't see it within yourself, and we're relying on people to tell us, or for there to always be an external validation in order for us to believe in ourselves, to trust in ourselves, to go out and create, then do we really deserve it? This queen here is self-confidence. So can we honestly say that we are confidently that person which is able to receive the abundance that it requires in relation to the action that it has put forward? No fearlessness. Do you understand? There's a challenge that's presented itself. Fine. Or set her ability to restore her husband, right? To remember her essence. So she brought back the pieces of herself or her husband, right? In order to give birth to her son, her will, right? So this shows you that she went on a journey, a pilgrimage, self-discovery. She was being hunted by her brother. That's persecution, that's doubt, that's fear, that's anger, right? All of these things riding her, but it's one had to become and over, one had to transcend based on the knowing that I am divine in flesh. There's nothing that I can't see in my mind sight and not be able to materialize. But the world is an energy matrix, and as an energy matrix, my sense of self determines what I receive. So, my beautiful souls, let me know in the comments how this energy of grace, what does that mean for you, my beautiful souls? Very interesting reading. So yes, until next week's love, light, and abundance, my beautiful souls. For personal readings, check my bio, my description, and you can tap into my website at House of New, my beautiful souls. Kaboom!